what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at my favorite filming spot location because guess what? We have that electrified vehicle from Nissan, and as you can see, it's not a Leaf. What is it? It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2025 Nissan Ariya. This particular trim is called Empower Plus. Interesting name for a trim. But before we get into this smaller size crossover SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. So like I said, this is Nissan's first crossover SUV that's electrified. But let it be known, I think a lot of people forget that Nissan has been doing electrification for quite some time because of the Nissan Leaf. Now the Nissan Leaf didn't get a lot of redesign, didn't get newer technology or batteries or charging capability, but that's where the Ariya comes into play. Now this vehicle is going to go up directly against vehicles like the Hyundai Ioniq 5, you're looking at the Kia EV6, and of course the Tesla Model Y. Plus, there's a plethora of new ones like the Chevrolet Equinox EV. When it comes to style, definitely the Ariya is bringing some interesting design to help with that range. And what's great is that you can get a longer range battery. They've actually sliced and slashed the pricing for the Ariya, and you could go 2-motor or single motor. But what I want to find out is, do you go Ariya over the competition like the Ioniq 5 and the Model Y from Tesla? Let's go ahead, let's dive into ours and find out. Right off the bat, one of my favorite colors on any Nissan, Boulder Gray, really kind of fits that modern feel of this Ariya because of the very futuristic style. Now, you'll notice that you have these massive fender flares, and they're actually gloss black instead of flat black. Balances nicely with the Boulder Gray. You're gonna get full LED headlights, LED signature daytime running lamps, and then you'll also notice the functional corner air curtains. Now, as we come across the front, you see the V-Motion grille there. You got that Nissan branded V-Motion grille, the Nissan badge, and tucked underneath hidden is a forward-facing camera. You're even going to get LED fog lamps on the corners on both sides. And then you have the gloss black lower grille, which is functional because remember, we do have a lithium ion, well, not liquid, it's liquid cooled lithium ion battery pack. The front fascia, I'm actually digging the way that they were able to do the V-Motion grille, even though technically this isn't a grille. And I like the way they put this textured design underneath it to kind of give you that overall feel. Comparing this to a Model Y, believe it or not, as crazy it sounds, I prefer the styling of this over a Model Y. The rest of the competition, I think the best looking one at this price point and this size is the Equinox EV, believe it or not. But let me know what you think about the face of this Ariya. Now, as we rise up, low coefficient drag numbers. Look how smooth everything is as it flows into the windshield area. Not a bunch of body lines. They just put a slight rise into the corner of the hood, and that goes into the A-pillars. We come around the bend. What are we working with? Wheels and tires. That futuristic modern vibe. You have these aluminum gunmetal metallic gray wheels with these gunmetal metallic inserts. So these are actually plastic, and what they do is they help generate air like a fan down the side of the vehicle to help with that airflow from the front down the side. Now this wheel's a 19-inch wheel, and like I said, being an electric vehicle, it's got a nice futuristic look without looking like an egg, or I should say like a Model Y. So let me know what your thoughts are on the wheels. You do have regen braking, of course, and you could get single motor or dual motor, and we'll talk more about that when we pop the hood. Now coming down the side, we have gloss black on your mirror caps. Look at the metal flake in our two-tone roof. A lot of metal flake, just like a bass fishing boat. I am digging the silver that differentiates the black from the side window glass. And they went ahead and did black all the way around the lower portion but the silver actually works. And if you notice, this is one of those signature designs that you're seeing in the Murano, you're seeing in the Nissan Z, and you see in this Ariya. Along the bottom, the gloss black, not my favorite material, but I prefer that over flat black. And then coming towards the rear, this right here is a bit of a bummer. I wish they would have made this actual glass. It's not, it's plastic. It's just gloss black plastic. But look at all the metal flake, man. It almost feels like you could touch this and it'd be rough. It's obviously not rough, it's smooth, but that's how much flake is in that roof. Now coming around the back, of course we have the fender flares just like we do up front. They do a great job on lighting. Oh, the lighting looks spectacular. You got the Nissan name under the glass of the taillight lenses, the Ariya badge, nothing too in your face. And then like I said, I think the weirdest thing is the trim name, Empower Plus. And I'll explain what the heck that means. Love the way they do that low roof spoiler. It's actually fully functional with that pass-through. Not digging the little rabbit ears there. Kind of interesting how they did that. I can't stop looking at it just because it's there. And then of course, why the hell do we need a rear wiper? You would think with the aerodynamics, rainwater would just glide off this, like Steven when he was a kid going down a slip and slide. You would think. But I gotta zonk the exposed wiper because it just kills the look of the back. And then of course, working our way down to ground level, you got the gloss black on your lower bumper. They kind of try to make it look like a little bit of a race car style diffuser, but it's all about generating air around the underneath and around the back of the vehicle. But why don't we go ahead? I promised that we were gonna pop the hood. Let's go pop the hood and talk about what the heck is powering this Ariya. All right guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod. I'm not gonna zonk it because not many people are gonna pop their hood at the local Cars and Coffee event. But what you're gonna see underneath is that single motor unit. I kind of like the way it says Nissan on it. It kind of just gives it a nice touch. But our Empower Plus is a long range single motor. So we have a single motor, front wheel drive, it's 238 horsepower. It uses an 87 kilowatt hour battery pack, 0 to 60 in about 7 seconds. Top speed is governed to 103 miles an hour. Range, like I said, is the longer range. It's 289 miles. That breaks down to 105 mpges in the city, 91 mpges on the highway, and the vehicle weighs 4,776 pounds. Now, if you put this on a DC fast charger, you could charge from 10% battery life all the way up to 90% battery life in 40 minutes. So, very interesting to see the range. My apologies for the dust and dirt. This vehicle actually came from Dubai, and that's where all the sand is coming from. But why don't we go ahead, let's turn it on and see it roll. All right, guys, we are inside this 2025 Nissan Ariya, this being the single motor long range. It's called Empower Plus. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I would have sworn you said something about prices being slashed at the beginning of the video. So I'm very curious, how much is this particular Nissan Ariya? So this particular one, the way that it's optioned, you're looking at an MSRP right at $50,000. That's a far cry. It was about $10,000 more just a couple years ago. But let's see what Nissan is bringing with the Ariya to the door panels. Love the two-tone material. You got soft touch up top, soft touch that's like an off-white, it's like a ceramic white. I'm digging it. It's gonna be hard to keep clean, but at least it really brings an upscale feel in here. You see that textured design in the door panel? That actually illuminates at night. LED lighting, ambient lighting. You do have gloss black around the switch gear there, so I am gonna have to zonk that. Door pocket is decent. Maybe 2 PB&Js and a Yoo-hoo to wash it down. Now going from the door panel to the dash, love the soft touch material. You'll notice this bronze copper color. And then the way they did this wood finish is really, really nice. Gives it a nice natural vibe in here. Down below, because this is an EV, look at how flat the floor is. That is a big plus when you go EV. Now, when it comes to technology, you have two 12.3-inch screens. Of course, full touchscreen technology, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. You can control all your AC goodies in here. Heated steering wheel. That really makes life a lot better. The only zonk is that you have heated seats but no ventilated seats. To me, that's a bummer. I want ventilated seats at $50,000. Let me go ahead and throw it into reverse. Camera quality is decent. Not the greatest, not the worst, but it can be improved. I do like the way they give you trajectory, and we have the 360-degree cameras. Real volume knob. There's your power on button, and I love the way that in the wood they actually have the switch gear, and it gives you a haptic kickback when you make your adjustments, which is really nice for the dual climate. Now, what's fascinating is that there's some goodies I could show you. It's almost like Mission Impossible. Check out our floating center console. You do have two cup holders with the updated, let me spin it around this way. Oh, no, I had it the right way. Nissan badge and the buttons. I'm glad they updated that. Close it up. It's got that nice wood finish. This is your electric shifter for the direct drive transmission. You do have regen braking. And then watch this. You ready? Dun, 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 dun. So you actually have a power sliding center console. Down below, what do we got going on here? You got a nice little nook for a couple Twinkies. USB-A, USB-C, and a 12-volt. And then I could slide this back forward. Look at that, huh? Get ready for this. You see this area right here? Get ready for a magic trick. All by the press of a button. Alakazam, abracadabra. Nice little party tray that slides out. So really, really kind of interesting idea. And then you slide this open. Look at the storage in here. It's got some felt lining, so you could actually like slide some of those special picture frames that you had from Things Remembered back in the 1990s when you had your picture of you and your high school sweetheart that used to drive around with you in your car and look at them. That was before we had smartphones. Now you can keep those pictures in there. Just if you're married, I don't recommend that, because if your significant other finds those framed photos, they're going to be a little bothered. If they're not, you might want to question the marriage. Just saying. Now, the opening and closing, it's all electric. So I'm just pushing the button and there it goes. All sealed up. Nobody even knows it's there except for you and me. You do have what's called E-step. That's your regen braking. There is no one pedal operation. And you do have the new Pro Pilot Assist, which is semi-autonomous driving. Open this bad boy up. That's where our wireless charger is, and that's where you could put some Tootsie Rolls. And then you have the seats with the soft material, that off-white, nice bolstering, great material, full electric assist for the passenger, full electric assist for the driver, and you have that power shade for our panoramic sunroof, which is great. But there's one more thing. Digital rear view mirror. That is super clear quality. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind this flat bottom steering wheel in this Ariya. Come on over. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have two memory seat settings. Easy to get to those seat controls, especially the lower lumbar. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm digging the seats. Comfy, lots of room in here. And that's one of the biggest benefits about an EV compared to an ICE SUV is that you just have a lot more room in here. Steering wheel, love the leather. You got perforated, smooth, the flat bottom, gunmetal gray on the thumb controls. It is a manual tilting and telescoping wheel. And then you have a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster right there with a head-up display. Lots of good information, easy to read, easy to understand. But let's get into the back seat and see if your passengers are going to be happy that you went Ariya over the competition. All right, guys, back seat time. And just like up front, look at how flat the freaking floor is. Unbelievable to give you extra leg room, especially if you're that person that has to suck it up and sit in the center back here. You're going to have a lot of leg room. The nice thing is both seats have this really durable material. It's not plastic. I'm liking that. Large pockets. You could easily put, I would say, 4 Cinnabons in there. You got your rear AC vents, heated seats, no ventilated seats, USB-C, USB-A. And then sitting here, I'm telling you, the seats are actually very comfortable. Pull this down, it's like a marshmallow. Soft like a marshmallow too. 2 cup holders. But why don't we go ahead, let's get into that cargo area because I want to take you for a spin in this Ariya. All right guys, cargo area time. We're gonna do it the old fashioned way. Hit the button, rises nicely. You're gonna actually be greeted to pretty much a good amount of space. You're looking at 23 cubic feet of space with the seats up. I'll show you what the seats look down when we fold. But look at this, you got a perfect nook for a box of Twinkies on both sides. So that means double the Twinkies, double your fun. It's like doubling your pleasure. And then underneath, you have usable storage. And this floor is configurable. So you could actually keep it at this level or you could drop it down. I'm gonna drop the seats. The seats do a 60-40 split. The only bummer is the zonk is I have to come over here to do it. Gotta go over to the passenger side, but we're gonna fold down one side. As you can see, you gotta walk to the other side. Flop it down. Actually pretty darn flat. And like I said, if you have a taller item, you could take this floor and even remove it or drop it down a few inches. But it's now that time. If you're ready, I'm ready. I'm sure you're curious. Let's go for a spin and see how this Ariya drives. All right, guys, we are behind the wheel of this 2025 Nissan Ariya M-Power Plus. You do have different modes, and I like the way they have the mode button easily accessible right by the electric shifter. I'm gonna come to a complete stop, and we're gonna go on throttle. On throttle. So, like I said, not the fastest, but also not the slowest either. 0 to 60 in about 7 seconds. I do have the E-step, what Nissan calls E-step, and what that is when I release the throttle, that's when the regen braking takes place and starts to slow me down. Just like I mentioned earlier, there isn't a single pedal operation. I'm okay with that because I really firmly believe the driver needs to be engaged in driving instead of having all this stuff done for you. That's just me. Head-up display is clear, easy to read, and I like the 2 screens. They're not too high, and it's easy to get to. And the fact that they don't just look like they're stuck on is a pleasant addition to what you are seeing. Steering wheel, the way that it's shaped and designed actually allows you to see that 12.3-inch screen very, very easily. And then you'll notice how everything is illuminated. You could even see some of the ambient lighting. It's really nice how they bring in that ambient lighting in a very creative way. You have your illuminated AC controls. Nice to have that because you don't have to go into the screen. And then you got your digital rear view mirror, which is great. Of course, we're in full quiet because it is an EV, and thankfully they don't have any fake sounds or any of that garbage. It's just you're driving an EV and it's quiet. So they did a really good job with the sound deadening material. It's very, very serene in here. Over the bumps, everything with the suspension tuning is really nice. It's not bouncy and floaty. And because it is an EV and because that battery pack is in the belly of this vehicle, handling is actually really, really good. Even with it weighing over 4,700 pounds, it still handles very well because the center of gravity is lower. But the size of the windshield and the way the A-pillars are pulled far apart, you have great visibility, lots of real estate in your side mirrors, and then of course you're getting the full 360-degree protection when it comes to blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, all those goodies technology-wise when it comes to safety. And I like the way it illuminates your blind spot monitoring on the dash and also on your side mirror as well. But seats are comfortable, very supportive without feeling squishy. And the gauges, like I said, very straightforward, very easy to understand at a quick glance. And of course, with the brake system, you have that great ability to recharge the battery as you're braking. We're gonna go on throttle again. You ready? On throttle, here we go. Look how easy it is to navigate through traffic. That's another thing that I like about the Ariya, is that it's very, very nimble, which is nice. But really driving this vehicle, it's such a good size. And then watch this. On throttle, here we go. Handling wise, it feels fantastic. Good feedback from the wheel. And just really smooth. I mean, look at this. Super nicely done for their first ever electrified crossover vehicle. I mean, that is very well done. But I'm hoping that this has been a good overall review of this 2025 Nissan Ariya single electric motor. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, another great day in so many ways. Just being here at my favorite filming spot location. Definitely want to thank everybody at Nissan USA for allowing us to have access to this press fleet vehicle. What do you think? Ariya, are you liking the style? Do you like the interior with all the technology, or are you gonna go with the Hyundai Ioniq 5 or the one that seems to sell a lot, the Tesla Model Y? Let me know down in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Gotta give it up to the man, the myth, the legend, Stephen Flood. Guys want to be him, and just ladies want to be with him. So thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.